anger management, flow state management, post chart routine. We're going to dive into that today. But hey, this is our first time meeting. My name is John. This is the Better Golf Academy, where we are trying to improve your golf scores without changing a single thing about your golf swing. So if it's your first time here, welcome. Over the last few weeks, we've been diving into some great, rich content. Rick Sessinghaus, flow code management, energy management, post-shot routine, anger management. And on this channel, on this platform, we don't just preach, we practice what we preach. So this past week, I took my PAT, my player ability test, which is a step to get the PGA card, professional card. And I'll just be straight up with you. I did not pass. I shot an 86 and 77. So we're going to use that as kind of an example of all these great topics. And if you want to dive deeper into these topics, I will list every link to every video in the description below. I'm going to set the stage here in case you don't know the format of the PAT. It's a 36-hole golf event in one day. So on April 29th, I had 36 holes to play. My first tee time was 8:12, and then my second tee time was around 1:20 or so in the afternoon.
From Sammamish, Washington, John Lay.
And basically to pass, you got to shoot a score of 157 from the blue tees, about 6,600 yards. And I came in at 163, so I did not pass. I missed it by 6 strokes. Yeah, we'll just jump right in. So with an 8:12 tee time, my goal was to get to the golf course at 6:30 to give myself enough time to just warm up and get in the right state of mind. It took a little longer than expected, but here we are. Let's get the warm up. I think I left a little bit later than I wanted to and eventually got to the course at 6:40 something. It wasn't the end of the world. Like, I still felt really relaxed, and that was the main point of the whole thing of making sure I had enough time, is to just go on the first tee feeling relaxed and confident, focused, intentional. And so, got to the range about just before 7. 3 minutes out. Here we go. So eventually it was tee time. And hole number 1, I have a plan for every hole, all 18 holes. Hole number 1, hit the tee shot center right, just as planned, had about 100 yards left. Approach shot went to about 12 feet. I was putting for birdie on the first hole. Like, that's a dream right there. 2 putted for par, and everything was going according to plan. Everything was good. And you guys know that quote, the Mike Tyson quote, right? Everybody has a game plan until they get punched in the face. Well, my punches came early. Came on the second and third hole. So that day I started par, double, triple. And that's when I got punched in the face. That's when I was kind of like spinning and started to kind of go through motions and all of that. So, the second hole, I hit a drive. It was still in the course. It's great. I played the whole first round. I only lost the ball on the 17th hole, so I lost 1 ball. I had about 120 yards on some like gravel. And, I guess looking back now, I've never really practiced hitting from gravel, but I just kind of took it like a sand shot, right? A little back in the stance, hitting down on it. And I chunked that, so then I chipped it, and then I missed the green, so I chipped it again, 2 chip, and 2 putted. And so, after the double, I kind of had in my mind this expectation, like, okay, to get a passing score, I could get 1 bogey in 3 holes, or I could be, +1 after 3 holes. So after that, I was like, okay, I kind of have to play through hole 6 with, even par, basically. So I was like, whatever. I brushed that off, kept going. I think I, applied some post-shot routine, was like, hey, I've never really practiced from gravel, so that's okay. And, it felt like time was moving faster than I could keep up with. It was kind of that feeling. I wanted to kind of troubleshoot, but I was kind of outer body in a not so great way. Like, things were just happening to me. I was being reactive. And enter hole number 3, right? Bombed the drive right down the middle. I have about 110 yards to the pin. That is like a easy 10-30 pitching wedge for me. And I blade it over the green. And this green is one that you cannot go over. Like, after the green, it kind of dips off like this and goes kind of into the next tee box and the cart path. And down there, it's like muddy and stuff. So that's where I was. I was 25 yards over the green, chipping to an elevation of maybe, I don't know, the green was maybe in terms of vertical 15 yards high, and I somehow had to stop the ball within, from peak of the hill to the pin. It was like downhill. Kind of had to stop less than 10 yards. Let's just call it 7 yards. So I was like faced with a 25-yard shot uphill from the mud. Just like, what am I supposed to do here? So I tried my best, try to kind of like open the face and get clean contact. I chunked it. Then I had another chip and whatever. I just ended up in a triple. And at that point, I was like +5 after 3. And I was like, okay, I kind of have to shoot even par for the rest of the day. Knowing what I know about mental game, I know that if you are in a place where you're expecting or trying to hit a certain number, that's not a great place to be. And so I kept reminding myself, like, hey, let's just focus on the next shot in front of me, right? So I think on that front nine, shot a 44, which is a +8. And I was still like, okay, +8. I have the capacity to shoot even par, +1, +2, maybe post the 81, 82. Like, that's still okay. But as the round went on, it was just kind of grinding. Um, Frustrating mistakes, like on a par 5, I was trying to go for 2. It is semi-reachable, but I think I ended up like behind some trees and I had to take my medicine and punch out, resulting in a bogey. On another par 5, I misjudged the wind and airmailed the green about 20 yards, had to take an unplayable, and that resulted in a double, I believe. And so, yeah, long story short, that's kind of how the 86 happened. Performance doesn't define who I am, all that good stuff, but it's discouraging for sure. Just gonna wipe the slate clean, and it's a new 18. We got about 40 minutes, and then we're up again. So, but yeah, that is what it is. Just go out there, give it my best, and that's all I can ask for. I could point to a couple things that I'm proud of, despite the 86. One is the post-shot routine. After every bad shot, I was still like, okay, like what happened there? And that was super helpful for two things specifically. First is the shot that I bladed. I was eventually able to troubleshoot and think to myself like, oh, like for these little pitch delicate shots, I'm putting the ball too forward in my stance, and so I'm like on my way up already. So I made a same day adjustment. I moved the ball back a little bit, and from then on, every little delicate shot I was hitting down on it. No more bladed shots for the rest of the day. So case in point there, post shot routine, super money. You can use that to adjust things on the fly. I can't say enough how awesome the post shot routine is, how helpful it is, because maybe I would have bladed more shots, resulting in even higher scores, right? So that's one thing. Also, with the post shot routine, it really helped with my putting. There were certain putts, short-ish, 5 to 10 feet, and I hit the putt exactly where I wanted to go. I just misread it, so I knew on the second round, like I needed to take a little bit more care with reading the greens and making sure I'm like committing to the line. And it turned around on the second round, right? So after that 86, I was kind of in a weird state of mind. Half of me was like, bro, that was so disappointing. Like, I am so discouraged. Almost like, why am I here? Just like, what am I doing here? Just down, discouraged, depressed, just sad, not even angry, just disappointed and sad. Because I felt like I know my game is capable of producing a certain result. And just to go out there and, have to hit from gravel, something that I didn't even know was a thing at that course, to blading a simple shot over the green, resulting in a triple, just deflating, right? Wasn't really ready for that. The other half of me was encouraged, because I had another 18 to kind of make things right. And B, I think I told Hanju this at the turn, like I'm in a great state of mind. in terms of my game, I know it's there. And so between the two rounds, I had 40, 50 minutes to basically figure out what to do with myself. And I didn't hit a single ball on the range. Like my swing felt great that day. And I spent most of that time just listening to music and taking deep breaths and just saying affirmations. I very little mechanical work. I did maybe 5-10 minutes of like chipping around and putting just to make sure I still had the feel around the greens. But yeah, I felt great. I felt I was in a great place, um, confident that on little delicate chippy shots I could land the ball where I want to or close enough. With putts that I am hitting where I aligned. I think I hit 6 putts before the second round. They were like 5 footers, and I made all 6. So I was like, I know I have the game. So let's go out there. Let's hit down on the delicate shots and stay present shot by shot. Because of math, I could have shot a 71 and passed the same day, and that's what I went for. Green light mentality, right? Let's just do one shot at a time. But again, chasing a certain number, a specific number, can be motivating for some, but also it could get to a point like, for example, um, 71 is 1 under, and after 9 holes, I was 3 over. So at that point, I knew like, okay, I'm not gonna try to make 4 birdies on the back 9, right? When I only made one for the rest for that whole day, right? It's just a little bit unrealistic, right? So I was just like, all right, let's just take it shot by shot, shot by shot. Don't care about the score, shot by shot. What is in front of me? How far is it? What kind of shot do I want to hit? Where do I want to land it? Where do I want to aim? Something I want to point out from flow code or from flow state management is looking outside myself. There was a period in time where I just had to do the whole Rick Sessinghaus 360 view, right? Just look up.
Beautiful day. Don't know what the score is at, but it's not great, but we're just trying to stay present right now.
I think that was really helpful. Also, um, Hanju in the How to Control Your Rage episode, he talks about having basically a trigger to tell your body, like, okay, that's it. Like, I'm letting that go. And for me, taking that in conjunction with Rick Sessinghaus and, basically Michael Leonard's Smart Golf, or Wicked Smart Golf, I found myself exhaling abruptly, and that was kind of like my letting go, my trigger, like like deep cleansing breath after the hole, or blowing raspberries, like even when I got a par, right? It's just like letting that nervous energy out was really helpful, as well as I think I remember vividly hitting a not so great shot with a lob wedge, and not slamming the club in, but just kind of telling myself intentionally, mindfully, like, okay, this club is going in the bag. I'm letting that go. That's it for that. Like, we'll come back and we'll, debrief and troubleshoot and all that later. But for now, like, letting that go. And I think that really helped me prevent a snowball effect where, anger stacks upon anger, stacks upon anger. And it was a real out of body experience because on the back 9 of the last round, I think the last 3 or 4 holes, I had these putts that, it's kind of weird to explain. Like, in my mind, I was like, well, I don't know if I'm going to make this. I don't really know like how the ball's going to turn, but I lined it up, hit it, and they went in. And so, yeah, that was kind of a weird phenomenon, right? To just be like, I don't really know what I'm doing, but I'm just trusting my swing and trusting like my body. It's kind of like I told my brain, like, hey, brain, don't think, just kind of listen to the motor, the pure mechanical things that the body is going to do. So that, I think, is something that is reminiscent, or draws a parallel of when somebody shoots a really low score. The last thing I want to hit on, the last practical thing, is the anger management. Hanja talks about finding the root cause of the thing behind the anger. And for me, it was 3 things. Disappointment, right? Like, you guys know I have been working on this 30 to 100 yard range for a while now. The disappointment of, staking a claim and saying I'm going to shoot scratch golf and then going out and shooting at 86. That's like disappointing, right? It's also a shift in expectation management, right? Truth is, I don't have the game, I don't have the touch, I don't have the feel that I once had. And so to expect to shoot even par, like that's a great aspiration, but then I need to be realistic, right? So expectation, disappointment, and then one that creeped up surprisingly was inadequacy, right? Not that I wasn't good enough now or then, like on April 29th, um, but inadequacy as baggage from when I was in high school, right? The strong parallel between like I don't achieve my expected score and thus I am inadequate, right? Um, I mean, like I'm turning 40 this year, right? Like I don't care really what people think about me or what I'm doing. Um, but even though I don't care now, I am living in this body that as a 12-year-old, as a kid, there was that parallel drawn. There was that association, right? Where it's like, you don't shoot what you're capable of shooting and thus you suck, right? And this was a reminder that even though I know all of that and I know it's not true and I believe in myself so much and I love myself so much now, it was still there. And yeah, I love it because it's a reminder that that's part of who I am. But also it's a prompt where it's like, that is not who I am anymore, right? So that was really healing. It was really yeah, that felt really good to just know that and be like, nope, that's in the past. And so, even though I did not pass the PAT on my first try, I did have a guy in my group who did, and I was super happy for him. Even though I didn't pass on the first try, and even though I shot an 86 on the first round, even though I feel like I have the game, I know I have the game to pass. Still, take the 77 away. Say I shot 86, 81. I am so hopeful that this content that we're putting out is relevant and works. I had a bunch of tools to work with. I had a bunch of great takeaways. So I hope you take this content seriously, and I hope that you know that this stuff that we talk about, we're putting in practice as well. If you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to drop it in the comment section down below. We read every comment and respond to every comment. If you want to drop a specific private message or question, be sure to go to bettergolfacademy.com/hello. Drop us a line. We'll promise we'll get back to you. Make it a great day. Stay awesome. And bye for now.